Hello everyone, I Dr. Aanchal, I welcome you again in our course module titled as Services Marketing, and in today's discussion we will be carrying out within a new aspect of the financial area, and this is being talked of as in a sector of the not for profit services marketing, that is those sector which are basically carrying out their operations with the objective of rendering you the pure services, which are with the objective of giving you the services which is basically not being targeted towards reaping out the profitable gains. So, in today's discussion we will be dealing with the important features for the not for profit services arena or the not for profit services sector. What are the important features that can be seen for them, and what are the challenges that the service marketers are undergoing for transacting out their operations. Now, moving on to the slide, this is in a slide which is relating within a revolving around the concept of the top charity marketing ideas. What are the sectors which are engaged or which are trying to craft out their operations for not for profit arena, not for profit services marketing arena. Very first here we are seeing that exploring the Google Ads grant. The second one is launching out the multi-channel campaign. We can go in for the witnessing the areas of experimenting with peer-to-peer marketing. Either we can be able to host out an event, we can be using out a technique of software, using out the new software techniques. We can go in for the adoption of cultivating out the existing relationship. We can be able to witness the formation of video contents and other engaging contents that is being used by the marketers. Either we can be offering the additional services that are basically being given to the target audience, not only for the purpose of maximizing out the sales volume or reaping out the profitable gains, but for the idea of a social cause. So, all these things can be done by the marketers in order to just go in for the adoption of the not for profit seeking activity. Now, there are the important features wherein we are seeing that it aims to raise awareness, attract donations and recruit volunteers, focuses on emotional appeals and demonstrating out the impact, emphasizing the transparency and the efficient use of the resources, often operates with limited budgets, relying on word of mouth and social media. Now, what are the important features of the not for profit services aspect? We are seeing that the main objective of them is to raise out the awareness, to attract out the donations, and to recruit out the volunteers who are very much being ready enough to give out their services, not for any kind of reward, not for any kind of recognition, but they are voluntarily they are putting up their services to provide the to provide out their offerings which are basically social in nature. And for the social cause, we are seeing that we are focusing on the emotional piece and demonstrating effects. They are being targeted enough, and definitely each and every organization, they are having out limited resources at their disposal that is being put in the alternative use. So, not for profit seeking organization, they do have their limited resources at their disposal, and definitely that paucity of the resources, how to channelize, how to get out within the best possible use. This is what is being talked of in being efficient and effective. So, putting on or drafting out and coming out with your output on timely basis within a judicious application and the uses of the resources is what is being talked of as being efficient and effective. Here, in case of the non-profit services organization, we do have a limited availability of the resources that is being put in a judicious way. So, the best possible way is to act in a more transparent way, to act in a more clear way, that will be giving them an aid to be to utilize out our resources without any duplication or without any kind of overlapping. We have a limited budgets. This is also an important characteristic of the non-profit seeking organization. A limited budget is there, they are operating into it, and all these characteristics, they themselves, they are trying to create a word of mouth publicity for these service organization, because their main objective is to provide in a social cause. Their main objective is to give the services which are providing out the benefits to the society at large without any kind of surplus gains. So, that is very much being transparent enough, and that is in a main objective of their establishment of their evolvement. The next one is mission driven marketing. It is focusing on the communicating out the organization's mission and values. We know that this is in a vision and the mission. Within the parameters of the vision and the mission, we are crafting out our corporate objectives. In case of the non-for-profit seeking organization, the objectives are there. and how to fulfill out the accomplishment of the objectives. What are the strategies that can be pursued for the fulfillment of the objectives should be made clear at the very first juncture. And then we are saying that mission driven marketing, the second feature is aligning out all the marketing efforts with the core purpose of the NPO, not for profit organization. Your efforts should be in alignment with their main objective to provide the to provide out the rendering of the services to the society at large. Next one is emphasizing the impact and the social change the organization creates. Organization is basically they have established and they are evolving to create environmental change, to give them a change that is reflecting out a social cause. So the social change, I mean that aspect is also being seen in the form of the activities that is being undertaken by the social marketers. We are having the marketers who are certain marketers who are trying to report the surplus gains, and even if for the bigger giants we are experiencing that at least 2% of their net profits they are being earmarked by the bigger giants who are operating in the form of the bigger tycoons. They are trying to earmark 2% of their net profits for meeting out the societal obligations, and that is what being seen. That is what is being seen in the form of the meeting out the responsibilities of corporate social responsibility. So CSR is a primary objective to be taken care of by every bigger conglomerate, every bigger tycoon. Especially in case of the non-profit seeking organization, we are established and we have established ourselves to meet out the societal cause, to bring out that transformational change that is not being created by any kind of business organization earlier before. So this social change, social transformation is being sought by the social marketers. And now further we are seeing that building trust is of paramount importance. Financial services marketers must communicate transparency and reliability through branding, customer testimonials and secure digital platforms. We know that our approach should be transparent enough, it should be clear enough. As we are clear, as we are transparent and very effective in our process, the communication will be effective, it will be very much being diligent enough, timely decisions can be made, and all these factors in turn will be able enough to witness out the characteristics of effective branding, to witness out the characteristics of the customers more loyalty, that can be witnessed in the form of the customers more loyalty. Customers testimonials can also be sought when they are being delighted enough, and that can be used for building up a rapport in the near future. Further moving on, these are the characteristics, that is transparency and accountability, regularly publishing of the financial reports and in the impact assessment should be clearly communicating how the donations are being used. These are the features, providing easy access to the information about the organization's operations. As we are clear, as we are transparent enough, we are trying to provide adequate information to the people who want to have upon. Maybe there are certain kind of areas who are trying to seek out, or who are trying to garner out your information for the research purposes. There can be an organization who are trying to seek out your information, or trying to seek your help for other further improvements and development for the economic cause, for the social cause. So you as a marketer, you as a service organization, especially for not profit seeking organization or the social organization, you should be able enough to clearly communicate that what are the procedural plans that you are being bind up with, and how you are operating, what are the objectives that you want to fulfill, or what are you operating, or what are your vision and the mission to be made clear to them. The cause marketing partnership, we are collaborating with for-profit businesses for mutual benefit. We are developing the co-branded products and the services. We are participating in corporate social responsibility initiatives. Now, as we have said that there can be collaborations, there can be a strategy of getting yourself, having a good ties with them in the form of strategic alliance, in the form of the joint venture. So, not for profit seeking organization, they can also be collaborating out their efforts with the business organization for the mutual benefit of both of them, because we have already said that they are working for the social cause, they are having limited resources at their disposal. If they are trying to collaborate, definitely their limited availability of the resources will be more enhanced. We are trying to develop out the co-branded products and the services. We can be also fulfilling out our social cause by collaborating them, or by collaborating with a bigger tycoon, with a bigger conglomerates, or with the bigger industrialists. Who are having a mandatory clause to fulfill out the obligation of the corporate social responsibility. So if you are trying to just club, or if you are trying to collaborate amongst them, Definitely our social cause, the objective of enhancement or providing out the benefit to the society at large, it will be more pronounced, it will be more enhanced. So, the collaboration of the trying to participate in the corporate social responsibilities or the initiatives that is being undertaken by the bigger industrialist can be taken as a technique or can be taken as a feature to just improve out your functionality of the not for profit seeking organization. Fourthly, we are seeing the advocacy and the awareness campaigns can be floated, like the development of the campaigns to raise out the awareness about the specific issues. Definitely, it's an era, it's in a time to float out information, to create awareness, to seek out the help, to have a good collaboration, to have a good association, to have a good assurance amongst the different entities who are operating in the environment in the form of the stakeholders. So, we are trying to develop out the campaigns to raise out more awareness amongst the customers, amongst the people who are there operating in the environment in the form of the stakeholders about the specific issues towards which we want to carry on our efforts. Similarly, we can engage in public policy advocacy related to the cause. We can also use social media hashtag campaigns to spread out the awareness. Social media is a need of the today's transforming world. Because each and every one of us, we are becoming more aware to use out the technological devices, we are becoming more techno savvy. So, the use of the social media is one of the emerging platforms that can be used by the marketers, by the social marketers to rely upon for promoting out their awareness benefits to the large masses. So, that can be used as an important tool. Now, what are the challenges? Earlier we have discussed about the features that is primarily being seen in case of the non-profit seeking organization or the innovative strategies which they can be going in for making out their presence more felt in this competitive scenario. Now, in the next discussion we will be moving on with the challenges. What are the challenges that is being primarily being witnessed by the non-profit seeking organization? And they are in the form of as being written here in the slide, that non-profit organization, they are facing unique challenges when it comes to the marketing out their cause and generating out the support. Here are some of the most common hurdles that they encounter, that is in the form of the limited budget. We know that as the name itself is self-explanatory, that these are the organizations which are not having an objective to reap out the profitable gains. So, as they are operating for the purpose of providing out the benefits in the form of the social cause, the very important challenge that is being reaped or that is being witnessed by them is in the form of the support and the generation of the income to be needed or to be talked of as an important edifice towards carrying out their operations. So, they are facing out the limited budgets, and that limited budget is in the it can be in any of the form. The very first, as we are experiencing here in the slide, that they are in the form of the resource constraint. And not for profit organization, they are often operating on the limited budgets, making it difficult to allocate funds for effective marketing campaigns. Definitely, we know that every organization, they are having 4 functional areas to talk of, and they are in the form of the production, marketing, finance and HR. R&D development department is also there in case of bigger organization. In case of a smaller, we are trying to have an inbuilt mechanism in each and every functional area who is taking care of the needs of the creativity and the innovativity. The resource constraint is being seen in terms of each and every functional area, in terms of each and every functional department that is being created in the not for profit seeking organization, and they are operating on the limited budgets. So, we can say that as we are operating or we are facing out the paucity and the dearth of the resources, it is very difficult for our marketer, especially the social marketers or the to put on their resources towards the promotional gains, towards the promotional aspect. That is a challenge to be seen enough. Now, this promotional aspect is an important task, or it is an important tool to create an awareness and to spread out the awareness and the information amongst the people towards whom we are targeting and towards the society at large, basically not only towards our target audience, circulating and disseminating out the information to the masses at large. So, if we are having the dearth of the resources, we will not be finding out enough to allocate out our funds towards the promotional appeals or in the form of the marketing campaigns. Similarly, competing priorities. Now, funding is often prioritized for essential services and programs, leaving less for marketing. Now, competing priorities, it means that here we are seeing that the funding is often prioritized for essential services and programs, leaving less for the marketing. Definitely, as we have already said, one of the important and the unique characteristic of this not-for-profit organization is to face out the dearth of the resources. So here the budget allocation, we know that the finance, it is a very crucial aspect for every organization, and how to allocate, I mean the procurement or garnering of the funds, it is very important. How to generate out the funds from the different sources, we can go in for the internal or the external depending upon the requirement. But after the pooling up the resources from the different areas, how to put in on with the best, how to allocate out the funds, this is also an important issue to be taken care of. So we are seeing that in case of the non-profit organization, the allocation factor of the funds that is being garnered, that is being generated from the different sources, they are being allocated, they are being put depending upon the priority of the importance. The services and the programs need to be more prioritized, to be taken care of in the first criteria, in the first category. They are being funded adequately, and for the rest of the other areas wherein I mean lesser attention is being paid by the organization. So they are lacking in terms of allocating out the funds towards areas which do seeks to have a greater attention, but rather because of their importance of the importance that is being given or that is being allocated to them, they are falling on that particular aspect. That is on the aspect of the promotional and the aspect of the marketing. So here the competing priorities are there, that is being witnessed on the part of the not-for-profit seeking organization, and they are trying to prioritize out their limited availability of the funds on the basis of the importance factor. And because of that factor, the promotional campaigns or the commercial techniques being used by them, they are falling short of that aspect. Now, how to measure out the success? This is also a challenge. The very first is trying to measure out the efficacy and the effectiveness of their success rate. The very first is tangible results, that is providing the direct impact of the marketing efforts can be challenging, especially when dealing with the intangible outcomes like raising awareness or changing attitudes. Definitely we are limiting our discussion towards the pure services. So not for profit seeking organization, they are also the organization trying to provide benefits, they are trying to raise out the awareness, they are trying to spread out the campaigns which are very much being beneficial for the society at large, and they are the organization having out the objective to provide the social cause, to bring out a transformational change, not for any kind of surplus gains. So how to measure out their quantum of success, how to measure out their results, very difficult because of a qualitative phenomena to talk of. And we know that the qualitative phenomena is difficult to measure. How to quantify them, because we are not supporting the measurement of the qualitative variables with the help of any kind of quantitative data. Here the success rate or the results of the not-for-profit seeking organization is very much being difficult enough because of the dealing of the qualitative features or the intangible features. Like we have taken an example, like suppose you have floated in a campaign of making the people more aware regarding the dreaded disease, or not to use out the tobacco or alcohol, or the AIDS campaign. Or how to change out the how to bring out an attitudinal change amongst the customers. So it's very much being difficult enough to measure out the efficacy of our flotation of the information, or towards measuring out the efficacy of our promotional campaigns. Because they are all being related within a psychological variables, they are all being related within a qualitative phenomena. Now this is one of the challenge. Now the next one is the data collection. Here we are seeing that the gathering and analyzing data to track on the effectiveness of marketing campaigns can be time consuming and resource intensive. Definitely, as we are dealing with the abstractness, as we are dealing with the intangibility factor, the effectiveness and efficacy of the marketing campaigns, the promotional areas, the promotional efforts and the techniques is very much being difficult to comprehend by the marketers. It's time consuming also, and more being related within a commitment of the resources. The next one is in a challenge that is being seen primarily on the part of the competition level. We are experiencing that nowadays the market area in the form of the virtual place or the brick and mortar store, the virtual place or the digital place, that is the meta marketing concept or the physical marketing concept. In both the areas we are experiencing out there is an intense competition going on around. So this particular parameter, that is the intense competition, can also be talked about as one of the challenge to be seen and borne by the not-for-profit seeking organization, and we are experiencing that there is an overcrowded marketplace, The not-profit sectors, they are often crowded with organizations competing for the attentions and donations. Definitely, each and every organization, they want to get into the limelight. They want to craft out their strategies, which is very much being unique and distinct enough to be having that approach of unique selling proposition. So even if you are you are being engaged in this particular aspect of the social cause, or the social marketers, they are trying to they are trying to pursue out their strategy of bringing out an attitudinal change, bringing out a transformation in the society in terms of their psychological variables. Here, how to compete out with them? There will be a different kind of organizations who are trying to craft out their efforts to fulfill out the responsibility of the corporate social responsibility, which are mandatory for the bigger industrialists and the conglomerates. So, how to compete out with them? We have already earlier said that there can be a strategy wherein we are trying to collaborate with them. So, this is an innovative strategy wherein you as a social marketers, you will be able to come out with the challenge of paucity of the resources. You are trying to collaborate with them, and that can be a situation that is primarily being used in order to mitigate out the problem of the overcrowding. Similarly, standing out, you as a marketer, you are trying to differentiate a not-profit cause, and messaging can be difficult in a saturated market. Definitely, if as social marketers, we are experiencing that altogether the market is already being flooded with informative appeals, with the informative campaigns having an impact of social cause. So, it is very much being difficult enough to break out the ice here in this this intense competition. Standing out of the crowd, or trying to outbeat out your competitors, trying to outsmart out your competitors, it is what is being talked of as a very important important strategy for the social marketers to be pursued, because they have to come out with that uniqueness which is distinct enough to be reminded out amongst the people, to be reminded out amongst the target audience whom we want to cater upon. So, standing out is also one of the important challenge that is being seen by the social marketers. Similarly, changing landscape, we are experiencing that the environment, the scenario is altogether is changing. We are experiencing a bigger transformation nowadays in terms of the technological area, in terms of the sociological variables, into the psychological variables. Here we are limiting our discussion towards the technological area. We are saying that keeping up with the latest digital marketing trends and the technologies can be a challenge for not-profit organizations with the limited resources. Definitely, it is one of the challenge to be seen. As we are with the dearth of the resources, as we are with the paucity of the resources, we cannot be able enough to cope up with the different kind of changes that are happening in the technological advancements. So that is one of the challenge. Similarly, we are seeing that changing donor preferences, donor expectations and preferences are constantly evolving, making it difficult to stay relevant. The people who are being, the people who are being involved in the delivering of the services, their expectations, their aspirations are also being getting changed. How to meet up with them, how to just motivate them, or how to just be in alignment with their changing expectations and aspirations is also one of the important challenge to be seen nowadays. Next is building trust, and the trust can be built in any of the way, as we have already discussed. It can be the credence and the loyalty factor can be built up, it can be just accentuated more in any of the form. Like we can go in for adoption of the transparent approach. The not-profit organization, they must be transparent about their finances and the operations to build trust with the donors. Definitely, the people who are coming up to help and to extend out their help in the form of the donations and the charitable formation of the charitable trust. You as a marketer, you have to get in touch with a very transparent approach. You have to have a very clear defined rules and the regulations. You have to have more. The process should be simple enough. It should be more lucid enough, so that you are very much being at ease to know about the availability of the finances which the organization is having on, and how this particular limited availability of the finances is being put more into greater use. The next one is the impact demonstration. Clearly demonstrating the impact of the work is essential for building credibility and attracting support. Definitely, it is the work that speaks. So, how you are crafting out your strategies, the procedural plans, the implementations, all should be very much being transparent. It should be very much being effective enough. We know that if you are being effective enough towards your functional areas, towards your operational procedural plans and regulations, you will be coming up with a flying colors, and that their impact will be pronounced in the years to come. So, trying to attract out the potential customers to be to have an association with you, trying to attract out the donors to have an association or to have a good ties with you. This is what is this can only be done with your effective demonstration and with your effective procedural plans and the regulations. Now all these are important to bring out a credibility approach, to have that particular kind of credibility and trustworthiness which you are seeking as marketers from the donors or from the the people who are very much being interested enough and who are being expected enough towards the deliverance of the services. Now this is all about the targeting out the right audience. Earlier we have discussed that what are the challenges that is being seen primarily for the not-profit seeking organization, and now we are seeing that towards whom we are targeting. This is also one of the challenge to be seen and to be identified. We are seeing that identifying out the donors, that is identification of the ideal donors demographic and the reaching them effectively can be a challenge. Definitely as in a marketer we are trying to target out on efforts, that segmentation is being done, but the targeting should also be effective enough. We as in a marketer, we as in a social marketer, we should be effective enough towards knowing out who are the real target audience towards whom we have to craft out our 7 strategies, and definitely not only towards giving them a delightment factor. Our efforts, our strategies and the procedural plans should be of such a nature wherein we are trying to provide a benefit to the society at large, to be taken due care by the marketers. So identification of the donors towards whom we are trying to craft out our strategies and the 7 P's should be clearly being specified by you, can be acting as one of the challenge for the social marketers. Similarly, as saying that the next and the last one is the tailoring of the messages, that is creating messages that resonates with a specific target audience can be difficult, definitely being talked of as an important challenge to be seen and borne by the marketers, wherein we are seeing that all our efforts in the services arena, they are being done in the form of the customization approach. They are very much being relying on the personalization approach. So tailoring out your message, trying to craft out your message and the promotional plan and your dissemination of the information more being pronounced, more being effective enough to your target audience is also one of the challenge that can be seen, because here it is very much being difficult enough to measure and to to know out the different psychological variables of the different people. So altogether, as we have already discussed, that the service itself is one of the area which is facing out this challenge of meeting out or comprehending out the psychological variables of the target audience. So here, especially in case of the social marketers, for the social marketers, they are also facing the same challenge to have a greater alignment or to have crafting out their strategies to be better being resonated enough to meet out the expectations of the target audience. So this is all about in today's discussion, that is what are the important features and the challenges that is being borne by the not-for-profit seeking organization, which is also one of the important area in the services marketing discipline. So I hope that you have understood the concept of the not-for-profit seeking organization, and till then stay safe and stay blessed. We will be meeting with another discussion in our next discourse. Thank you all for joining.